We out here. Wow. New podcast, man. Wow. TishaRaye, what's up? Wow. Booming up the block, I'm with TishaRaye. Big things poppin', pretty girls don't play. The new Boomin podcast, know she finna pull up. And you know where she from. Straight forward, what's up? Life, love, entertainment, that's what we got. Big up the community, cause that's our spot. Heart to heart with the vertigo, dreadlock. Pretty girl TishaRaye, booming down your block. Booming up the block, I'm with TishaRaye. 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 Booming up the block, I'm with TishaRaye.
What's going on? Another episode, yay! Booming on the block with your girl TishaRaye. You know what I'm saying? And today is a special episode, okay? Normally it is Booming on the Block with TishaRaye, the host, me, and my amazing co-host. But today we're going to turn it all the way around. Okay, because I got my girl with me today. I got a special girl with me today. She's like my sis, you know what I'm saying? I mean, I picked up from my other sis, but it is what it is. Shout out to Reese. You know, do what you do. So today we're going to turn Booming on the Block with TishaRaye into Booming on the Block with TaNeisha Gist, Neisha Strong.
Thank you.
How you doing, girl?
I'm well. How are you? Grateful to be here.
Thank you for having me. You know, thank you for coming. And you know, we're going to remind everyone that this podcast is a judge-free podcast. So if you feel in your spirit that you're going to be judging, I just say don't watch. You know what I'm saying? So today, Booming on the Block with TaNeisha Gist, and we're going to turn the whole floor over to my sister. She got a story to share with us, and I ain't going to cry. I'm going to try not to.
Don't cry.
But we're going to get you right into it. So first and foremost, I want you to tell the people who you are for the ones that don't know who you are, where you from, and all that good stuff.
Okay. Well, I am TaNeisha Gist, a.k.a. Neisha Strong. I am from Winston-Salem, North Carolina, trade 4. I attended Winston-Salem State University.
Go Rams.
Go HBCU. Yes. I am currently battling stage 4 breast cancer. And I have enlisted social media to go through my fight with me. And they've been through the journey with me since 2018. So I just want to shed some light on my story, my background, and just give some people some information about myself that they've never known.
Now that sounds real good. And she mentioned breast cancer month. I want y'all to know it's October. So it's breast cancer month and it's domestic violence month. And that's what I'm going to shed my light on. So TaNeisha, you can get right into your story because girl, I'm ready. Go bring the boom.
All right. Well, like I said, I'm from Winston-Salem. I am the oldest of 12 kids. I am an advocate for breast cancer, but I'm also an advocate for foster care. Okay. When I was 10, I was taken from my mom due to drugs. She's a drug abuser. Mm-hmm. She's still currently on drugs to this day. It's been a pretty hard life or whatever, but the struggle didn't just start during cancer. It was, you know, I've struggled, but overcome these struggles throughout life. And like I said, I'm the oldest of 12. I am used to being like the mother figure.
Yeah.
Never really got to be a child. I always had to take care of my brothers. Got to foster care, aged out. Went to live with my grandmother.
Yeah.
When I lived with my grandmother, I actually, I was in high school. This was my last year of high school. And she was, of course, making like $7 an hour. Mm-hmm. I had a job, but I had a job at Wendy's. It wasn't paying that much, so
hey, you had a job,
right? It wasn't paying quite enough though. So my journey to grown adulthood, it started in high school. I started dancing when I was in high school.
Okay.
It was a gang of girls who. They danced in high school, and I saw that they were making money. They were older than me. They had graduated. So
right.
I started dancing, and that's how I learned to make my little hustle, my fast money or whatever. So from college, from high school to college, I was dancing. And I escorted a little bit. I did that a little bit. It was for some top dollar people though.
Make it coins.
Yeah, I had to make it coins. You know. So it was like I I thought I'd be kind of scared of that stuff because as a child I was molested or whatever. You know, you thought you would think you would shy away from that because of the men who touched you inappropriately or whatever. But it made me scared of old men. It didn't make me scared of all men. It made me scared of old men. Like, I don't know if you've seen Set It Off before.
Yes.
You know the Nate man?
Yes.
Like, I'm scared of those kind of men.
Wow.
Like, and it comes from like older men in your family, you know, touching on you. So, you know, it's like so many people ask, you know, why do young women who get touched on or sexually abused, do they become more sexually active? I think some do, some don't.
Right.
You know, some have their different fears. Like, I don't fear sex. I fear old men who want to have sex with me, you know.
That point,
And so, you know, I just wanted to speak on that or whatever. But
it's cool. Speak. Yes.
You know, you learn a lot about who you are as a woman when you're going through these things. You're seeing different men that you're working for. They're telling you different things that they want to see in a woman, different things that, different qualities they want to have in a woman. So, it's kind of like my mom didn't raise me to be a woman, but it's kind of like men kind of raised me a little bit. They kind of told me, you know, what were qualities in a woman. I had some men who would tell me, you know, like, it's not cool to ask men for money, you know, to like, in a begging manner. You know, you got a bill or something is cool, but, you know, always hustle and get, you know, what you want as a woman. And, excuse me. So, that was always my mentality, like, get it by any means necessary. I didn't do it to be a whore or anything, you know, to be promiscuous. I did it for survival because, you know, at the end of the day, men are always going to, you know, sex and women, period. That's always going to be their vice. So, you know, I know a lot of people judge me for my OnlyFans that I did. I had an OnlyFans page.
I know about that.
And that's what I said. Like, people don't know my history. They don't know that I've come up as being free with my sexuality. Like, in the strip club, you know, you see all types of women walking around naked. Like, you know, you're used to seeing as for days. You know, some of them with none. You know, one thing that was me. But you know, some people are like, you know, how is she so comfortable with this? It's like, you know, I grew up being comfortable with myself, but not to use it in a demeaning manner. You know, I wanted to be comfortable with myself so that I could get the best out of myself.
And you gained that comfortability growing up. Going through, okay, got you.
Exactly.
I got you. Because it's hard for some of us to get that comfort.
Right.
You know?
I don't know where I got it from. Like, you know, it was just like, I think it was more of the hustle. More than, you know what I'm saying? It wasn't me wanting people to admire me. It was like, I got to get this money. I got to keep it business. You know, let me learn how can I capitalize off of myself, off of my body, you know, off of my looks or whatever.
Absolutely.
You know, to get what people do for just laying on their backs, you know, and some, you know, not even that. But, you know, you know,
understand.
So it's like, you know, so many people, like, they judge you, you know, for the OnlyFans. And I'm like, well, actually, you know, in OnlyFans, you're like on the computer. And no one's touching you. You don't have to meet up with anyone. People pay you maybe $200 for a private picture or video. Like,
easy. Well,
I don't get out on the corner and say, hey, you little girl, go and be an OnlyFans creator. But I do say, if you're comfortable with your body, if you know how to do business properly, and if you have a struggle, it's nothing wrong with capitalizing off what men want to see. They're going to pay to see it. If not from you, they're going to pay to see it from someone else. So if you're struggling, you know, get those coins. But as far as me being comfortable with myself, it comes back from before this year. It's way back 2003. Like, I got to school off of my body, you know, using it in the proper way or whatever.
Gotcha.
But anyway,
but what is the proper way?
The proper way, for me, to get it is use your mind, educate yourself as much as you can on what's important in life. College isn't for everyone, but you do want to make sure that you're always educating yourself, that you're always growing.
Right.
You want to make sure that you're always putting yourself in a safe position. You want to make sure that you're always putting God first. You just want to make sure that you're doing things in a comfortable manner and educating yourself at the same time. So, so my childhood / college years were just a little bit of a struggle. But after I got in college, I was a very smart girl. Like, I graduated my high school class with the most awards and scholarships in my class.
Yes.
I was in a scholarship program where I actually started with some state a semester early because we were in our scholarship program. Yes. So, like I said, my struggle didn't come from me being dumb or lack of effort or anything. Sometimes you're just put in situations where you have to struggle to make it for those who come after you. And like I said, I was the oldest of 12. So to be honest, just my love for them, it created me to have a life with no shame in what I had to do. As long as I wasn't hurting anyone, I just felt like, hey, only God can judge me.
Yes.
So, that's and so I don't judge people, because like I said, from a young age, I've been doing things that people often judge you on, but I've never judged myself for it because I knew it was something that I had to do for survival.
Absolutely.
So, I've had, I've worked ever since, I was in school. I was always scared that I was going to be like my mom, so I stayed away from marijuana for a long time. I didn't start smoking marijuana until I was like maybe 26.
Okay.
And my mom, she does crack or whatever, so it's like anything to lead me to that, like I don't want it, because I feel like, to an extent, I feel like it's hereditary, like, just the addiction.
It's
part,
being real,
so I was just like, man, it's already, we live a hard life, so you can easily turn to that for comfort. So I was just like, no, please don't let me do that or whatever. So I worked. I didn't graduate. Once it's a mistake. Okay. My senior year, I left.
Okay.
My mom was pregnant with my sister, who's now 13. I got a call from social service telling me that my sister was born with crack in her system, and if I didn't come and pick her up, that she was going to go into the system. And so that day, I left school to go and pick my sister up, and I signed supervised custody with my grandmother, with my little sister, and I didn't return to I didn't graduate. I left my last year, and I didn't graduate. So, I was that big sister, mom type figure, taking care of your sister. My brother had a few kids, well, a lot of kids, but so I always had kids around, always kids around. So I love children, that's why I do a lot of stuff in the community, because I love children. Like, I really wish I could have a kid or whatever.
I got you some.
Like, let me babysit, like, for real. I'm cool. I got some laughter over there. Like, they must be baby kids.
You ain't saying nothing. I got you.
But yeah, so, so by me not finishing school, I worked in accounting.
Okay.
And I got my accounting jobs working through experience. That's why I say college isn't for everyone.
Right.
Like, that on a job experience, it got me where I needed to be. Like, I was making like $20 an hour, at my accounting job, and I had no college degree. And it was just, and I was actually working. I was in Salem State, where I went to school at, in the finance department, as well as A&T in the finance department. So, that's just a little shimmer, just to let you know, like, hard work and perseverance, networking, who you know, what you do, how you prove yourself, that's always going to go further, so, I'm living, I'm proud of myself. I beat the odds. I had a nervous breakdown when I was 26. Okay. I was working for social service, and I was just in a dark place. Like, I thought I was the same age my mom was when she started drugs, and I was like, I had a nervous breakdown. And I actually went into a facility for like 3 days. This was by accident. It was so funny, but it wasn't funny.
Wait a minute.
Because I'm like in the hospital, like, because I'm like sick, and I'm like, I don't know what's wrong with me. I don't know why I can't breathe. You know, I don't know what an anxiety attack is at this point. You know, that's basically what I'm having. So the doctor, she's like, do you want to be admitted? Do you want to sign this paper and get admitted? I'm thinking, yeah, like that's why I came to the hospital so y'all can help me. I'm thinking I'm being admitted to Forsyth Hospital.
Yeah.
No. I got admitted to the crazy place, to the old Vineyard Behavioral Health place.
Oh, they took you there.
Girl, me and my grandma came to the hospital with me, right?
Oh my.
I didn't even know they had jail cells in the hospital. I'm in jail cell in the hospital, waiting for the police to come pick me up, because I thought I signed a paper to be admitted to the hospital, but I signed a paper to be admitted to the crazy hospital.
Oh.
And mandatory stay is 72 hours. So, I did get something good from it. I ended up getting this tattoo.
Yeah.
It says nothing changes if nothing changes. So there was a counselor. He came in and spoke. You know, he was just telling people how, you know, you change your life, you know, and the steps that you need to do to take to change your life. And it stuck with me, because I was like, you know, I feel like I'm stuck here in this place, and I feel like I'm going to be like my mom, but I just have to change my situation, you know, and things are starting to look up for me, you know. So I got out of there because, it was crazy.
I bet.
And, and I, you know, things got better, you know. So I'm living, so 2015, I'm working at Ralph Lauren, and it's so funny because I've never and I don't know if this, I think it was my first time. I don't want to be like rude to any of my friends who've had parents who have dealt with cancer, and I just didn't know about it, whatever. But I was working at Ralph Lauren, and our trainer, she was younger than us, and her mom was about to die from breast cancer at the time. And it was weird because me and another girl who had befriended each other through training, she sold cancer insurance. And so we got together with the class, and we bought her mom, no, we bought her a gift for her mom passing away or whatever. And so the girl who sold the cancer insurance, she was like, Tanisha, you need to get this cancer insurance. She was like, I know you don't have no cancer. And she was like, but you need to get this insurance. It's really good. She was like, you just never know what's going to happen. I had been battling Crohn's. I had just got diagnosed with Crohn's or whatever. And so,
which is no joke.
No joke. No joke. Like, I didn't even know what was going on with me. It was, But, when I was working at Ralph Lauren, my dad had started going missing or whatever. Like, he would usually call me, and I hadn't been getting phone calls from him. And so, he called me, and he was like, he had been sick. And so I was just like, well, what's wrong? He was like, they say I'm allergic to the medication or whatever. And I was like, that's weird, you know. So, he ended up telling me like 2 weeks later that he had stage 4 cancer. He had non-Hodgkin's lymphoma. They told him that he had 6 to 9 months to live. So I was just like, I couldn't, you know, I was in disbelief. I was a little mad at first because I had just the day before I was rude to my dad. Like, he was doing some landscaping, and I couldn't find him. He kept telling me he was on one street, and I could not find him. Nothing. So when I finally gave him the food, I like kind of shoved it at him or whatever. And so like as soon as he told me that, I immediately thought back to the day before, and I was like, oh my gosh, I was so mean to my daddy. He got cancer, you know.
You didn't know that.
I didn't know, you know, but it's like I cannot ride down Spring Street no more, because that reminds me of me being mean to my daddy every time I ride down Spring Street, and it makes me cry or whatever. But anyway, he was diagnosed with cancer. And my dad never took care of me when I was younger. I didn't even like know my siblings through my dad. I could tell my daddy my birthday was twice a year, and he would believe me, because that's how much he didn't know me. Like, you know, but I don't know what it is, like in the black community, your parents are still your parents. Like,
absolutely,
you still love them. Yeah, you still love them to death. Like, my mom, like, I handle my mom how I handle my mom, but nobody else can handle my mom.
Absolutely.
Like, you're not approved to handle my mom how I handle my mom, you know, unless she does something crazy, so you just do whatever. So as soon as my dad told me, he was living with his best friend, who I call my uncle, because they grew up literally like brothers their whole lives. So they were living together, and so I started taking care of him. Every hospital appointment, every doctor, everything. I was writing stuff down on envelopes. I was writing on the back of everything. So, at this time, I had left Ralph Lauren. It was a temporary job.
Yeah.
They offered me a permanent job, but I had ended up getting a job in the finance department, and it was a mistake.
Yeah.
Which was a blessing because everything was going fine with my dad, taking care of him. He was taking his meds and everything. And then I got a call at work, and they said that the medicine wasn't working, the chemo wasn't working or whatever, and that he only had like 3 months to live. So I wrote down right there at work or whatever, and they told me, they was like, look, take all the time off you need to. Like, your job's still gonna be here. Like, take care of your dad. So it was like a month and a half. I'll take care of my dad. And it was like, before I started taking care of him, before I started visiting him every day, it was like I started reading, I started Googling stuff like how to make people happy who have cancer. Because this was like my first time being hands-on with it or whatever. So I just wanted to make them happy or whatever. So it was like tell jokes or whatever. And so the cancer that my dad had, it was like aggressive. So he went down really fast. So it was like from 1 week, he was up and smoking weed to the next week. He was like balled up like a little baby. He couldn't do anything or whatever. And so it hurt me because it was like my dad, people masculine, men are masculine. My dad is like balled up, like he can't do anything. And I remember I was getting mad at him. I had got mad at him one time because the doctor was like, he has to try, he has to try. And I would try to get him up, and he was like, I can't do it. He's like, I just see bugs. He kept saying, I see bugs or whatever. And I was just like, I did not understand it. I was so irritated because I was like, Daddy, ain't no bugs here in the room, or whatever. But I didn't know it was the medication that was taking over his mind or whatever. And so he ended up having to go and be in the hospital or whatever. And I was telling him jokes, and he wouldn't laugh. And so I was kind of mad because he wouldn't laugh because the jokes was funny. Yeah. I put them on Facebook after, and then people laugh. I'd be like, all right, so they funny. So he's not laughing or whatever. So what's going on? But he wouldn't talk to me either. He'll tell me what he needed. His favorite thing to eat was watermelon, but you couldn't bring pink watermelon. You had to bring red watermelon, and he could hardly talk because the chemo had tore up his mouth. And so he'll be like, I want the red. He couldn't hardly say it. And I brought him some pink one time. He was like, I want the red, and whatever. So it was just, that was so funny to me. And so when I took care of my dad, I was in a relationship or whatever, and my boyfriend, he wasn't really hands-on or whatever, but he came to the hospital one day, and he saw, when my dad started getting further and further, when he started going down. And so he came to the hospital, and my dad was literally in the worst situation, throwing up, everything. And I was just wiping everything, with no problem. And he was like, wow, Neisha, I never thought you can do this. And I was like, I don't know why you thought this, but yeah, this is my dad, you know what I'm saying? But it was crazy that he said that because I didn't think I can't stand to see someone throw up, you know what I'm saying? I'm like, look, if someone even, starts, and I was just like, this is the love that God put in me to be here for my dad, and it was just I'm so grateful that I got to do it, because he had taken care of all my other brothers and sisters. I was the only one who he never took care of, but I was the one who ended up being there every day, in the end. Yeah. And it was a blessing because it was it humbled me. I didn't think I would get cancer, but it was
okay, I need to clean it. Tell him to bring us a roll of toilet paper. Bring a roll of toilet paper while TaNeisha talk, because it's getting ready to come.
Yeah, it
trying
was
to hold it in.
It was just this how I want somebody to be here for me.
I just gotta say, this is why she has the hashtag Neisha Strong.
For sure.
I just gotta add that. Okay, go ahead.
For sure. It's just you want to be that for someone. Yeah.
Thank you, producer, director.
Thank you. And
Y'all need tissue.
right.
Come on now. Okay.
I'm trying to it off and I'm trying
Girl,
to it off.
bring them even more to me.
But so my dad, like, basically he went down fast. He died within like 3 months. And like I just posted this like May 15th 2015. I was sitting with my dad and I wrote a poem, like just sitting with him, because I was talking to him but he couldn't respond. So I didn't know what he was hearing, what he wasn't hearing at this point in time. Like, he couldn't hardly talk or anything. So they were transitioning him from the hospital to go home and basically die or whatever. So the people, it was strange because the people who I think caused my dad's cancer, well, not the people, but I think it really came from that Roundup stuff. Like, you know, you see here about the lawsuits. And he did landscaping, so that's all he did. And he was very fortunate to have the people he worked for. They literally paid for his funeral, like, you know. So that was like, right, such a relief, because he wanted to be cremated, and like it was still a lot, you know. He was trying to be, you know, courteous of the family, because he knew my dad had a scooter left behind. He left it to my little sister or whatever. He had he had some life insurance. I'm a trust of it over my brother's. But I'm doing pretty good with that, though. It's gone from $14,000 to $23,000.
Come on,
I invested it, you know.
Come on now.
So there, you know, it's going up or whatever. But that's been an experience for me too, because I just had to sign that over to my sister now that my cancer is, you know, where it is or whatever. But yeah, so with my dad, like, before he died, like, I used to like have to change him or whatever.
Yeah, girl, go. I know. Look,
this joker was so weak, like 84 pounds. Man, when it was time for me to change him, this joker used to be trying to hold his pants up so hard. I used to be like, Daddy, I don't see that.
Be so strong.
I'm like, bro, how you get the strength to pull your pants up? But you can't even stand up to get out the bed.
Yeah.
So he did not want me to see that little private part.
Right.
But I was like,
you baby girl.
I gotta see it. You know, I gotta see it. But you know, he planning a funeral, getting a will together, making sure all the family feels included is one of the hardest things I've ever had to do. So many people did not take care or help in the aid of my dad when he died, and they still wanted to be included. And I had to digest that, and I had to serve these people still, even though they weren't there for my father, even though I felt like they shouldn't have been on the obituary or anything. But it's just like, you learn a lot of forgiveness, you know. You learn a lot, you know, of what's worth the fight and what's not worth the fight.
Absolutely.
You know? So I was there when my dad took his last 2 breaths. He breathed in, he breathed out, then he breathed in, he never breathed out again. I'll never forget, the steps were too steep when the ambulance came. And so my uncle had to throw my daddy over his shoulder like he was dead. Like, my uncle was his best friend. He'd like throw my daddy over his shoulder. He was like 84 pounds, and like take him to the ambulance to go to the funeral home or whatever. And it's just like, I know that hurt my uncle, man. Like,